In the beginning of the movie, we are shown articles about the first successfully cloned sheep named Dolly. After that successful project, the Genome Project successfully maps human genetic blueprints. Soon afterward, anti-cloning protests take place in Rome, and the human cloning experiment fails, forcing the court to order the clones to be destroyed. The scene changes, and we are taken to a football field where a game is taking place. During the game, one of the players gets seriously injured and is rushed away to a hospital. An agent riding with the player in the ambulance communicates to someone through an earpiece and then apologizes for what he has to do. He changes the course of the location, heading away from the hospital. Adam, a devoted snowboarding instructor and a family man, is looking at his reflection in the mirror, searching for signs of aging on his birthday. Following a playful exchange with his wife, their private moment is interrupted by their daughter running into the room. Those kids never respect intimate time, am I right? After having breakfast and sending his children away to school with his wife, Adam is picked up by his work partner, Hank. Upon arriving at work, the receptionist informs Adam that they will be undergoing drug and alcohol testing for their upcoming job at a client's request. As he is talking with his colleagues, Adam receives a video call from his wife, Natalie, who delivers terrible news that their dog, Oliver, has a deadly virus and needs to be put down. She urges Adam to visit the Cloning Institute to have Oliver cloned to save their 8-year-old daughter from facing a heartbreaking situation. Although Adam finds the idea of cloning not ideal, he agrees to see the place. If anyone deserves a second chance, then dogs do for sure. After flying their helicopters with their passengers to the snowy mountains, Adam and Hank drop off the group at the top. After they dropped off their clients, the duo returned to the office, where the client, Michael's men, were waiting for them to take a blood test. Once they're done with the formalities, Michael pushes Adam to see the cloning place, mentioning that he has already done it with his cat. He tells Adam to go to the pet cloning center while he handles their client. Following Adam's signal of approval, Hank meets with his client Michael and transports him with the helicopter to a small shack on top of a mountain. As they are leaving the helicopter, they spot a man holding a gun and aiming it in their direction. Agreeing with his friend, Adam heads over to the facility. When he arrives, Adam is introduced to the company manager, who tries to sell him on the idea of cloning his dog despite Adam's hesitation. While getting the whole sales pitch from the manager, Adam notices a Syntax doll across the hall his daughter had been asking about and buys it instead. Despite planning to meet Hank after the flight to take him to his surprise birthday party, Hank doesn't show up, leaving Adam to return home alone. Upon arriving home, Adam is shocked to find their dog Oliver alive and assumes his wife must have had him cloned. As he goes up the stairs, he hears people singing happy birthday and becomes confused. Looking through the window, he witnesses his family and friends having a great time with his clone. As he approaches his house, a man and a woman dressed in black stop him, convincing him that everything is under control and urging him to comply by following them. Despite being tasered, they manage to escort him to a car, but Adam resists, struggling to break free. After Adam enters his car, one of the assailants, Talia, follows him inside and threatens him to stop. After a small fight, Adam disarms her and demands to know why they are trying to kill him. Talia reveals that his clone arrived first and he wasn't meant to see him, explaining that this clone was going to continue living his life. Troubled by what he's been told, Adam focuses on driving and evading the assassins who are trying to catch him. As they are trying to shoot him, one of the assassins accidentally hits his accomplice, resulting in Talia's death as she falls out of the car. As Adam continues to drive, he crashes through a fence surrounding a large dam, causing his car to flip and leaving him hanging onto the damaged fence. Agents Robert and Vincent pursue him to the edge and try to shoot him, but Adam chooses to jump into the river. The agents look over to see if Adam has survived the fall. They don't see any signs of movement in the water. They retrieve their dead colleague's body and run away. Back in the city, Michael, who had previously been seen assassinated, was now giving a press conference at a ball showing his support in cloning research. As he is addressing the public, he explains that the research could help save many lives even though human cloning was illegal. Surviving the fall, Adam swims out of the river and goes to the police to report his situation. When he attempts to explain that his life was being taken over by a clone, the police officers assume he's crazy, since the report explains that he had been there earlier to give a completely different report. When they pull up his file, Adam's file suspiciously shows that he is a psychiatric patient and he must be arrested immediately. As they are telling him to calm down, the officer takes him to one of the rooms and asks Adam to wait until they get more information. In the cloning facility, Vincent and Robert bring the bodies of their dead colleagues and hand them over to Dr. Griffin, the head scientist of the program. Picking a clone out from the reserves, they regenerate Talia and Wiley into their new bodies. Back at the police station, Adam waits around for a few minutes and then tries to open the door in hopes of speaking to the officers again, but he finds out that it's locked. Looking out the window, Adam notices the agents who were trying to kill him earlier and decides to escape. Jamming the door with the chair, Adam breaks the side window and jumps out. As Adam attempts to escape the building, he encounters Wiley and immediately recognizes him. They get into a big fight, and Adam ends up breaking the man's neck. With nowhere else to turn, Adam makes his way to his friend's house, Hank. When he sees Hank, he notices he is very surprised. Hank apologizes for missing Adam's party, explaining that he simply woke up after it was too late. Adam begins to explain everything that's been happening in his life, and takes Hank to his house so they can spy on his clone. After watching his clone with his wife, Adam and Hank are surprised when his young daughter interrupts them. When he goes back to the house to put her in bed, Adam sees the agents that were after him pull into the driveway. Quickly answering the door, Adam pretends to be the clone they had expected and pretends like he has never seen them before. After speaking to them casually, Adam manages to get them to leave and hides just in time before his clone could see him. Once the coast was clear, Adam and Hank head over to Hank's apartment. As they are talking, an unexpected bullet hits Hank, revealing his attacker to be the same person who attacked him on the mountain. As he's looking for answers, Adam confronts the killer, Trippy, and a fight occurs as they are trying to reach for the gun. During the fight, Adam manages to force Trippy to shoot himself. As he is trying to break free, Trippy tries to run, but is unable to get far because of his wounds. Pulling Trippy out of the wrecked car, Adam demands to know why he killed Hank. In his dying moments, Trippy reveals that it was because Hank was a clone. He explains that Michael and the others were all clones, which he deems an abomination. As they are talking, Trippy notices Robert and his men arriving and forces Adam to shoot him in the head. As soon as they see him, Robert and Talia start shooting at Adam. Ducking and dodging the flying bullets, Adam manages to stop his attackers by shooting Robert's leg and cuts off Talia's fingers, using her thumbprint to access the car. Having no other place to hide, Adam goes to his workplace to hide out for the night. As he is trying to understand his situation, Adam visits the cloning facility to speak with the notorious Dr. Griffin. Using Talia's saved thumbprint, he gains entry to the restricted area, unaware that the agents have already arrived and discovered his plans. Venturing into the deeper levels, Adam discovers Griffin seated at his desk, focusing on his research. As Adam is waving his gun around, he confronts the doctor, demanding an explanation for how he managed to clone him. Griffin reveals that during the blood test and an eye exam, they collected his genetic information, allowing them to clone him because they thought he had died during Michael's assassination. Griffin also explains to Adam that Michael had passed away 3 years ago, and they cloned him to continue using his wealth. He continues to explain that Michael's associates are attempting to eliminate him because if it was revealed that he was a clone, his entire inheritance would be at risk, as clones do not have legal rights. Failing to capture Adam as planned, Vincent and Talia decide to target his wife and daughter. The agents abduct his family from a school event. When the cloned Adam rushes to check on his loved ones, he witnesses their kidnapping and attempts to save them, but he runs away as the attackers start shooting at him. Returning to the building, the clone Adam tries to call the police, but is stopped by the real Adam, who tells him he had tried that already. The two join forces to take down Michael, knowing that they have the upper ground as long as they have proof that Michael is a clone. What an interesting turn of events. Griffin, who had dedicated his life to the cloning project in a desperate attempt to save his wife from cancer, cherishes the precious moments he has left with her. Realizing that she is a clone, Griffin's wife begs him to promise that he will never attempt to bring her back as a clone. After she dies, Griffin discovers that Michael has been manipulating the genetic structure of the clones, which makes them live shorter than promised. When he confronts Michael, he explains that the cloning was a precautionary measure to stop the betrayal by the clones. Griffin, who is clearly pissed off, wants to leave the cloning project. However, Michael doesn't want Griffin to walk away, so he decides to shoot him. He then clones both Griffin and his wife, erasing their memory, making sure that Griffin is still involved in the project. Adam and Michael make a deal to trade the evidence Adam stole for his family's safety. However, Michael doesn't want to honor the agreement and tries to eliminate Adam. As he realizes that Michael is going to betray him, Adam makes his way to the facility, confronting the agents and security guards as he storms towards Michael's office. Although he manages to take out some of them, Adam is outnumbered and trapped in the stairway, forced to give in. Once he is captured, Adam is taken to Michael, who shows him that his family is alright through the security cameras. Once he makes sure his family is safe, Adam tells Michael that his clone has all of the proof against them in case something happens to him. With a smug smile on his face, Adam informs Michael that no matter what he thinks, he is the true clone. He explains that there is only one way to confirm this and reveals the small mark beneath Adam's eyelids. As the feeling of anxiety and disbelief goes through his body, Adam approaches the mirror and sees the mark for himself. When Michael is going through the images, he realizes that the Adam they captured was just a diversion, while the real Adam was on a mission to save his family. He finds his wife and daughter in the conference room and quickly leads them up to the roof where a helicopter is waiting. The captured Adam uses the distraction to escape, which leads to Michael getting accidentally shot and jumping out the window. Michael realizes his wound will kill him in 20 minutes and shoots Wiley for accidentally shooting him. Struggling to stay alive, Michael makes a new syntax for his clone and prepares himself by having Robert carry him to the lab. With Michael securely seated on the cloning table, Talia and Robert go searching for the cloned Adam, who has been hiding in the massive tank used for cloning. As Robert and Talia are looking for him, the cloned Adam remained hidden, evading their detection. However, in a surprising turn of events, the cloned Adam jumps out of the tank, grabbing a hold of Talia and pulling her down, using the tubes from the ceiling to wrap around her neck and suffocate her. As she struggles to stay alive, she manages to fire her weapon but misses Adam and instead hits the tank. As Talia's shot misses the cloned Adam, the glass shatters, causing a lot of water to fill up the room, overwhelming Robert and making him unconscious. The force of the water was so big, it damages everything in its path. As Michael is trying to save himself despite being hurt, he enters the process of cloning himself one more time. However, due to the broken equipment, the clone that got out of the machine is in a scary and deformed state. In a dramatic turn of events, the original Adam comes to the rescue of his family while his clone takes matters into his own hands, causing mayhem by destroying all of the equipment and taking out Michael. A big shootout is taking place on the rooftop, where the clone Adam is facing a big danger. However, just in the nick of time, the real Adam swoops in with a helicopter, saving his clone. As the helicopter takes off, the facility is destroyed by the flames. In a final climax, as the helicopter lands safely, Michael finally falls to his death, which makes a satisfying end for him because he's a terrible person. In the end, Adam makes arrangements for his clone to have a new life in Argentina after they surprisingly find out that his clone doesn't have a short lifespan like the others. Now that's what I call a crazy story. The moral of the story is that we often see these human-made projects resemble acts of God. Usually, from what we've seen, these projects often go wrong and people usually die from them. Families are ruined. You get the picture. The only things that should be cloned are our pets because they're the best. Thank you and see you in the next episode.